Welcome to the Orange Flag Podcast. 2025 was quite a year for us, so we decided to do a recap. I'm Nicole.
I'm Austin.
I'm Aries. Let's roll back the months, shall we?
We're gonna roll all the way back to almost a full year ago, and we'll start with Daytona and the blizzard. Because I drove through a blizzard to get there,
That was fun.
Yeah, you never let me forget that it snowed in Florida every time I try to say it doesn't snow in Florida.
There was like 8 inches of snow that I had to drive through, all the way to get to Daytona. But it was very worth it, because honestly, that first autograph session, I don't think we realized it at the time, but it really did set the tone for the year.
Yeah. Looking back on it, complete another chaos. Also started the year of us just like randomly ending up on social media in random places of like videos of us, and that just being a thing that randomly happens. And I still don't know how I feel about that.
That Matt, Jam, and Kevin all posted us on their Instagrams at the very first race of the year really set the year up. Like, that was how the year was going to go. And I really do still think, and if you've kept up with the show the whole year, this may sound like an absurd statement. Kevin knowing about the show at Daytona is still the craziest thing that happened all year.
Especially because, that was infancy, of
the show had been going for 3 months. Why did Kevin Estra know about our podcast?
It had been going for 3 months. We, didn't have a lot of people, following it, or even just, flat out interacting with it at that point. So when we got, randomly Kevin interacting, because he saw the shirt post, and then, from there, the, knowing the shirts when we put them down right away. That was weird.
Immediately being like, oh, you're the ones from the podcast. Yes, hi Kevin, that's terrifying.
Yeah, but then also, Jam pointing at the shirts and going, Kevin is our kid, and that video circling on social media, and leading to the creation of the Porsche family tree, which just grew more and more with new members throughout the year, to where we've even so recently as a few weeks ago added members to the family tree, with Alessio becoming the cool uncle with the Bathurst lineup announcements. So that even got insanely out of hand. And I think that just started out with Jam jokingly saying that Kevin was their child.
Yes. No, saying that's the craziest thing to happen all year, at first I was like, wow, that's a very bold statement. But given what you guys just said, yeah, we were 3 months into this orangery madness, so I can see why.
Yeah.
I remember having a bit of a freak out when you guys sent everything. I was like, wait a minute, did this just happen?
I think we also were freaking out because we were like, wait a minute.
I had time to emotionally prepare for the fact that we were going to have Kevin on the show.
Yes.
I had time, prior to interviewing Kevin at COTA, to be like, okay, yep, I'm going to interview Kevin at COTA. Daytona was a brand new everything. It's just, Daytona was crazy.
Yeah, which we'll go back to before we went to the autograph session. I picked Dana up from the airport because I was driving from one side of Florida to the other, and she was in the middle at the airport, so I could stop halfway. And I was wearing my PPM hat backwards, so when she got into my car in the passenger seat, all she saw on the side was Penske. And for context, Dana is a huge Andretti fan. Dana did almost refused to get into my car and then did tell her parents that she was being kidnapped by a Penske fan.
By a strange man with a Penske hat on, is what she said in Chaos Crew.
Yes. To which, reminder, not a Penske fan. But that was how we started the weekend.
I feel like we kind of are at this point. I don't know that we can really, act like we're not, at least in IMSA.
Yeah. But, not flat out a Penske fan.
No, not like an across the board anything they do,
Even though you really try to make me out to be Joey Logano's biggest fan.
You are Joey Logano's #1 fan.
I am not.
You are.
I'm not.
For some reason, I knew this conversation was going to end up in Joey Logano and NASCAR.
Joey Logano is kind of teammates with the guys, so I feel like Joey Logano should, come to Daytona or Sebring and hang out with you.
I just had a very...
Joey Logano has not driven in the 963, and no matter how many times Matt has said he wants to do NASCAR, Matt has not done NASCAR. So, the Penske connection of them being teammates is very, limited.
I just had a very cursed line of pop up in my mind.
Oh no.
Larvin and Joey?
I mean, either the three guys at Daytona in each car and a third car with all the the others, a selection of the others from NASCAR and IndyCar. Imagine the scene. We're just gonna put
a Joseph Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin, Joey Logano car would be very popular.
I will say, it's not like Cindric hasn't done the Rolex.
Yeah, this is true.
Whole different manufacturer, but still.
I mean, still, he did do it to the point to where he got his seat insert made, very last minute. Because he wasn't supposed to be there. But he has, so, if they needed a NASCAR guy, I feel like he's probably first. Yes.
That's not as fun as I don't even want Joey to drive. I just want Joey to be there supporting his Penske teammates, who we are also supporting, so then we would be in the same, sphere as him, and then you would be forced to meet him.
No, it's really just that you want to annoy me with Joey Logano.
Yes, I will go. If Joey Logano is at Daytona, Sebring, or Petite, I will go find him and I will be like, my buddy is your biggest fan. You need to come over here and meet him. And I will drag Joey Logano over to you. Ask Dana. I did this with Brian Herta, so I'll do this.
True. There is no pink words in the notes at all this week, but you mentioning Brian Herta just remembered that time when you guys gave me a mix, the mix of excitement and fright, or as one of our friends in the group said yesterday, freight of his life. When you sent the Arthur Leclerc video.
Oh yes, because that was we got stuck in the LMP2 line because they had all of the LMP2 cars in one line for the most part. And so you just got stuck halfway, and he was just sitting right where we got stuck.
Hey, I'm not complaining. You should have seen my little freak out because I've told the story here. I was at work, so I was very confused, and then I understood what was happening. I was like, you did not.
It can't be as bad as when we sent Dana, this wasn't this year, this was last year. Sent her the Brian Herta video, and she fell out of her chair.
My favorite one is the fact that I got Earl to make a video saying hi to Morgan when Morgan was at Daytona.
At the race, yes.
See, I feel like I'm finally safe from anybody getting Kevin to make a video saying hi to me, because Kevin definitely knows who I am, so there's no, like, I suppose if somebody that Kevin doesn't know asks for the video, but, like, you can't go up to Kevin and be like, make a video saying hi to Nicole. He's gonna be like, Nicole's here. Why am I making a video?
No,
So-
I definitely can. I don't know what you're talking about. Kevin, I need you to commit to the bit.
The problem is Kevin will commit to the bit.
Exactly.
Kevin has proven he will commit to the bit.
Exactly.
So-
Which is why all I have to do is go up to the man and be like, Kevin, I need you to film a video for Nicole for the bit. I am just saying I'm already expecting chaos at Daytona next year. Like, of...
Oh yeah, no, Daytona's gonna be a mess. Let's see. What else happened at Daytona this year? We interviewed Kevin.
Yes. In the rain.
In the rain, yes. It was rainy.
We didn't have rain
Daytona
jackets.
was actually miserable weather-wise this year.
It was terrible.
Hopefully it's not like that next year.
Yeah, it was so bad. We didn't have rain jackets either, so, like, it was
No,
just...
I have a Porsche rain jacket now, so it'll be fine if it rains.
Yeah.
Got that because it rained at Coda.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I have my uni one, if anything. So,
Nice.
but yeah, that happened. I got Tom and Colin to sign old 60 stuff, which apparently was very weird to them that somebody had old 60 stuff, which I was like, this didn't seem that out there, but okay, I guess.
Like, that's not that much weirder than, like, me trying to get Kevin and Larry to sign this next year. Like, that's gonna be 3 years old at that point. Like, this is 2023. It's gonna be 2026.
I was just
Look
like,
at
why
my
are you
really
so
fancy
surprised?
giant.
Yeah. I was like, why are you
6'3".
so surprised that I have old 60 stuff? Okay.
Let's see, what else happened at Daytona? Oh, yes! We went to one of the local, establishments of eateries, and...
Eateries.
Yes. Of
Well,
the
I'm not going to say
foods.
what restaurant we went to, but there were foodstuffs. And, the Rexy boys were there and we bought them dinner.
Yes, not to also mention, we didn't buy these guys dinner, but also at dinner was all of Ferrari's GT guys and Ralph Aaron. Just more of them kept walking in, and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, that was very much so my reaction when I was getting live updates from you guys.
Ralph Aaron was a weird one, because, like, he didn't come with anybody from
And he
his
sat at the
car.
bar.
And he just sat at the bar to where I was like,
He
Is
ate.
that-
He wasn't, like, drinking.
no, but I was just like, is that who I think it
Yeah,
is?
he didn't come with his team or anything.
No. I was
But-
very confused. Like,
Yeah.
Ralph, I get you were a late addition to the car, but, like, you can still hang out with your teammates.
Maybe they didn't want to go to eat.
Maybe. It just was very weird.
I think we need to convince the entirety of the PPM gang to go to said establishment this year or next year, 2026.
Yes. 2026.
We can, at the very least, probably get Lauren.
We can
know
probably-
he likes to eat there.
Yes, Lauren, we know what you like to eat, so we know there are food options for race car drivers at the establishment, so Kevin can't use the excuse that that isn't a reason.
Yes. Moving on to Sebring, which I did not go to.
Yes, I went to Sebring alone last minute because I was like, oh yeah, my days off from work do mean I can go to Sebring. I guess I'll just do that. So yeah. It started off with autograph session and going through the line for PPM, and Matt instantly remembering the shirts because I had our Cam Jam and Kevin shirt on, and then Kevin asking about the podcast once again when the podcast was still in its infancy. And I was like, Kevin...
It was like 5 months old then.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Kevin, why are you so interested in the podcast? He was like, are you guys still doing the podcast? How's it going? And I was like, yep, still doing the podcast.
It's very fitting Kevin was our first driver guest.
Yes.
Because he's definitely the driver that cares the most about the podcast.
Yes.
I think if it had been anyone else, it wouldn't have been so. I think it wouldn't have been like a circle closing.
Yeah.
It needed to be him.
I was just like, why is that the thing you're asking about? I was just so confused. I was like, what? So yeah, and then after that, I went through the MSR line, and I had 60 art, which once again, this time it wasn't Tom and Colin being confused that I had 60 stuff. It was instead the staff of MSR. Their crew was just like, MSR art! And I was like, yes, I do have the 60 as a print. I don't know why this is so exciting to you. If you want it, it is at the tent being sold. Go get it.
I need to bring my, I am gonna have to go through the dang Genesis line with all of these 963s.
Hi, Jam. Hi, Andre. We know you guys aren't driving for PPM anymore, but we have a lot of PPM
Sometime
stuff.
I need to get this signed too.
Yes. But yeah, so I got my MSR art signed, which actually I guess technically still needs to be signed by Fro because it is the Daytona car and it's signed by the 3 that did Sebring. So technically still need Fro. But yeah. Then we'll just get to, the actual race itself. Obviously, PPM and Rexy won, which my favorite thing was the commentary of the people around me while I was at the podium for the celebrations, because they got, things of orange juice for the 7, and Tandy and Nasser drank it, and then, started throwing it at each other. And then Larry didn't even take a sip. And the guy in front of me was like, he must just really hate orange juice. I was
Too much sugar for his macros for the day. I'm shocked that he drank his champagne at Petite, honestly.
But so the thing I then said was, doesn't fit his mac.
I'm sure that confused the guy in front of you.
But I had to, because it was all I could
Absolutely.
Think of. Because
I was my Larry Acai Bowl shirt on today.
But yeah, so Larry, you did get roasted by most of the people at the podium for the fact you didn't drink the orange juice. And then Rexy was just chaos too. But then also the GTD normal boys, because that's what we like to call it here, they were the most chaos of all, because they jumped off the stage, ran at the crowd, spraying everybody with champagne, and then, just handing their hats to people instead of, throwing them and everything. So that was just chaos. But in general, one of the good parts about Sebring was, all the special liveries, too. There were a lot of special liveries for Sebring, and it's nice when you get to have some of the special liveries. So, yeah.
The other good thing about Sebring was we forced Kevin to defend his poor hat throwing abilities.
Yes! I did, in fact, get a video of Kevin's really poor hat throwing, and then proceed to make fun. Yes, and then proceeded to make fun of Kevin for not being able to throw a hat, because I'm sorry, Kevin, but you really couldn't throw a hat. Once again, at Sebring, not at Spa, because for some reason you thought it happened at Spa. Don't know why.
He must have, been really bad at throwing a hat at Spa at some point, too. I think this could be, a thing. We still need to get Kevin to like demonstrate to us that he can throw a hat.
Because I don't quite
I have
believe
lots
him.
of hats. I can surely bring a random hat to all of the races next year.
Yeah, but, you know, I still don't quite believe that he can throw a hat, despite him in person defending himself to me that he can throw a hat, and him
And
defending
online.
himself to me online that he can throw a hat. I'm just
I like
saying...
how he brought that up on his own at Coda.
Yes. But Kevin, all I'm saying is the races I've been to where you've thrown hats, they haven't gone over so well. So I haven't seen with my own eyes that you can throw a hat.
Yeah. Sidestepping to GT World Challenge America, because that falls under sports cars, and I went chronologically with sports cars as I was making this list.
Chronological order is the best order.
It is.
Yes.
So for GT World Challenge America, we got 2 rounds. I went to Coda and Oz went to Sebring. So when I was at Coda, Tom Sargent and Kyle Washington got on the podium, and I got Tom's podium hat, which was really cool. And then after the race, got to interview Tom and Kyle, so that was really awesome. That was, like, those two were kind of the first, like, more in-depth interviews that I had ever done, because, like, the ones that we did at Daytona were a lot quicker. They were more, like, kind of what's become the type of quick at the track interviews we normally do, which are, like, the, 1 to 2 question under 2-minute interviews. But the one with Tom and the one with Kyle were like actual interviews, so those were pretty cool.
Yeah, and then for Sebring, I got into a debate over who has better ice cream, Sonic or Dairy Queen, with Riley Dickinson, who very strongly believes it is Sonic, and had a whole debate on that. So very important conversation, very strong beliefs about his ice cream, which makes sense. He's from Texas. Being a big Sonic fan doesn't surprise me, considering when I lived in Texas, there was a Sonic on like every corner. So,
which is funny because like a lot of people here act like Dairy Queen is some Texas exclusive thing, and it's like Dairy Queen exists everywhere, bro.
yeah.
Like, we have Dairy Queen in Massachusetts. I don't think we have Sonic.
Yeah. I didn't like start getting Sonics in like the other states I lived in until like later. So I had Dairy Queen like growing up.
Yeah, we have both here in Texas. Lots of Dairy Queen, lots of Sonic.
Yeah, but he was actively looking for like Sonics nearby. So
nice.
Yes.
I'm just nodding my head, pretending I have experience.
Yeah, Aries is like, I definitely know what a Sonic and a Dairy Queen are.
There's a Sonic really close to Coda, so we'll bring you to Sonic.
Yes. Riley will be very happy with us.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a Dairy Queen somewhere in Austin. We can go to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, I just guess if I go to Sebring, somebody's gonna jump down from the podium and start spraying me with champagne, because that also happened at GT World Challenge, because the Raccoon Boys jumped down and started spraying everyone, but like I was standing right next to their like crew, so I really got covered in it.
Nice.
So that was great. I was sticky for the rest of the day.
Sebring has a really good podium setup for that sort of stuff, though.
100%.
As opposed to some other tracks.
It's one of, like, my favorite things about Sebring is how close you can get to the podium celebrations.
Yeah, because, like, think what other tracks I went to this year. Like, so yeah, the GT World Challenge podium at COTA was very, like, up close. It wasn't on the podium that they use for F1 and for WEC and stuff. But I think every other race I went to this year, the podium was very isolated from the fans. Like, it was not something you could just get to, so.
Yeah.
Detroit was definitely like that, which, like, I watched the Detroit podium from the stands because there was, I could get out onto the track. Like, I had the credential that would have let me get out onto the track, but the podium's elevated. So, like, what's the point? Like, Matt and Jam were on the podium, but, and Ranger won, which was cool. But, like,
I think I remember this story. Your fellow people around you in the grandstand sort of pretty much knew what your allegiances were that weekend.
I very much did not want Wayne Taylor Racing to win the race. I don't like them. Ranger also pulled off an amazing pass. He tends to do things like that.
This time with, the car functioning as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
But, Detroit was cool. So, Detroit is obviously a joint IndyCar and IMSA weekend. This is just the little IMSA story part of it. But, yeah, that was the first race where it was like, someone remembered me from a previous race, because Jam 100% remembered who I was from Daytona, and that was like, okay, this is kind of crazy, because when I went through and my shirt got messed up, and I actually, I need to print another one and at some point I had a Tandy Slam shirt made, and I got it signed, and it got all destroyed, so I actually need to get another one signed, this coming year. But Jam, like, leaned over to Nick, and he was like, oh, you got a shirt too! And then immediately was like, so do we get the new shirts? Like, he wanted to see the Cam Jam No Kevin shirts. Like, what's up with these boys and wanting to see the shirts so badly?
They really love the shirts.
They really love the shirts.
I mean,
I guess we can, show the newest shirt.
Oh dear.
This is Larvin and Matt. Which is just the Estor and Matt shirt, but it says Larvin now.
We had to.
Yes, that's the new shirt. But, and then at the autograph session, I forget why I was even talking to Lauren Heinrich about the fact that I had just been at the Indy 500, but he was very concerned that I was in Indianapolis, flew home to Texas, or drove home to Texas, and then flew back to Michigan. And that started our whole banter about travel that is still ongoing. Lauren, I know you're only going to be at 3 of the races that I'm going to next year, but please ignore the fact that I'm going to many. They're all in the US. They're all semi-nearby. You still travel more than I do. Porsche did a whole post today about how you travel so much.
They flat out called him out. They were like, this man travels a lot.
Yes. Yes, he does. And then my absolute favorite thing at Detroit was getting the Jam and Nasser hats from the team, which, like, I got the Nasser one signed at Detroit, and I got the Jam one signed at... Did I get that signed at COTA, or did I get it signed at Petit?
I think COTA.
But, yeah, that was very cool. Team noticed I was a big fan, they were like, here's some hats. And it wasn't like the way they were just on the table at Coda. It was literally like, here's some hats. So that was pretty awesome. And then, yeah, I guess, Coda.
Yes, which I'm realizing...
Coda was recent enough, I feel like everybody remembers Coda.
Uno momento as I go and get prop.
I got the hat that I actually really wanted. The Nasser hat and the Jam hat were cool. But let's be real, we all know whose hat I actually wanted. And
we didn't.
Kevin knew it too, because he got me one. Because these ones are actually, like, last year's hats.
Which I still stand by that they're the better hats.
This one is this year's current hat, which is cool. Very awesome of Kevin to get me a hat. At the time we recorded the Coda episode, we didn't know how the season was gonna end, so, like, there was no, this was, but, like, now we know that was, you know, Kevin's last win in WEC with Portia. That was Kevin's best qualifying of the season, and we were there for that, and that was awesome. We will be going to a lot of races next year, Kevin, so, like, win some more. Please, thank you.
He did flat out say on the episode that he came on that, like, when we go to his races, they tend to do well. So
yes. Kevin, I'm going to all of them next year.
Well, you guys have remember, you guys have a streak to maintain.
Yes.
Yes.
It's time to put that to the test.
Obviously, I think the overall coolest thing that has ever happened in my entire 20 plus years of going to races is getting invited into the garage to watch qualifying and then getting to hold Kevin's trophy after the race. Absolutely unbeatable weekend. I do not know that anything will ever top that weekend. Ever. I just don't know that it's possible. Like, everything that could have gone right that weekend went right.
Yeah. Well, to my experience at Coda, which started with mainly just confusing the boys with cowboy hats, because if you're Matthew Jaminet, you put it on backwards. If you're Michael Christensen, you just look at it kind of confused. If you're Julian Andlauer, you talk about how it's too big on your head. If you're Lawrence Vantar, you're very concerned about hat hygiene. If you're Kevin, you're just normal about it. If you're Matt...
I was the only one that was normal about the hat.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm putting the hat.
If you're Matt, you complain about Kevin having dirty hair, so you don't take your hat off and put the cowboy hat on top of your hat so that your hair doesn't get dirty.
We need to ask Kevin about that at some point this season, why Matt thinks he has dirty hair.
Yeah.
Preferably when Matt is in earshot.
Yes. The two of you come over here. But yeah, that, and then also confusing all the French boys with Baguette that I made them sign, which they were all very confused by. Kevin was really just confused on how I found a baguette that had legs. He was more confused by the fact
I have
the
a keychain baguette with legs.
I have a keychain one too that's on my backpack I bring to every race weekend, but Kevin for some reason was just like very confused that the baguette had legs, and all I'm gonna say is, Kevin, just be prepared for 2026. All I'm going to say.
If you guys think we were something this year, wait for next year.
There's more to come is all I'm gonna say. And then obviously you talked about how the race was for Kevin. We didn't know it at the time, but obviously this would be Matt's first and last WEC overall win, so with Portia. So that's pretty cool to have been able to be there, but also crazy. And then also just we went to their garage, like outside of their garage after they won, and all of the like chaos of what was happening around there as we were standing there was just a lot. A lot of it was in French.
It felt like everybody was just, like, from multiple teams were all just congregated in the same area we were.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't even just PPM people. Like,
No.
there were a lot of different teams all just there, like, chatting and chilling, which was cool. It was just, like, a really good, like, vibes situation.
Yeah, the vibes were great. There was a lot of French going on, and then just catty chaos.
Yes. The Caddy Boys are insane. Especially Seb and Earl, honestly.
Yes.
Like, not the two that I would expect to be the, like, crazy ones. I guess Earl, maybe. But, like, the two of them were just wild. Like, okay,
like,
guys.
Concerned they were going to break that golf cart. And not in the, like, Matt Campbell way of Matt almost crashing the golf cart, but in the they are bouncing on the back of this golf cart and it's like really bending while they're jumping on it.
It was so good. And then rounding the season out, we went to Petite. That was pretty cool. Crazy situations with the Car 6 lineup, because it was, like, supposed to be Julian, and then ended up being Larry.
It was very confusing.
It was. It still doesn't feel real that we actually, like, we weren't just there while the team was celebrating. Like, we were partaking in the celebration with the team.
Yeah.
And that really doesn't feel real. Like, I can vaguely understand, like, victory selfie and Kevin letting me hold the trophy at Coda. The fact that we got drinks from PPM at Petite still, like,
the alcohols.
Like, that's crazy to me that actually happened.
Yeah, it was insane. Also, kind of in line with Coda of, like, we didn't know that this would be Jam's last race with the IMSA side of the team. And then obviously him finally getting the championship with PPM before he left Porsche. It was cool to be there for that as well, now knowing that he left to go to Genesis. So that was
Nick's last race with PPM too.
Yeah, so it was cool to kind of get to be there for those aspects of it too.
Yeah. And I think, like, not counting the episode with Kevin, because I don't really count that as an interview. That was an episode. The interview with Nick Tandy was my favorite interview of the year.
It was so good.
It was just crazy. Like, that was a question we got from one of our friends on Twitter that was like, can you please ask Nick this? Okay, sure. And he gave just the best answer. Go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah,
because
also as
his
we're
comparison of the 919 and the 963 was cool.
Yeah, also as we're asking him the question, he's, like, definitely walking us to places we weren't supposed to be going to.
Yeah, we ended up in the, like, RV lot / parking lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, I was like, we're definitely not supposed to be here, but okay. But yeah, also in line with that, like, the other stuff we got to do that weekend was pretty cool too, you know? When we went to Wright and gave them the mini banana and them all, like, freaking out over the fact that we understood Tommy bananas and then Tom calling us, like, his biggest fans. That was just crazy to see how excited, like, Elliot got over it. Because, like, I wasn't expecting Elliot and Adam to get, like, so interested by it.
Right, I expected Tom to be excited to see us, but Adam and Elliot being excited was really
Yeah. And then obviously becoming besties with Tower that weekend, and
that
all
was
of the stuff
that
that
was
happened
cool.
with that was cool.
The garage tour was awesome. Garage
Yeah.
tours are the best.
Yeah. Well, also in their cheat recap video, you can see familiar figures.
Yes.
Yes. Which we then ended up on their Instagram too. So
We
yeah.
did. And then so that's wraps up sports cars. Moving on to IndyCar. I went to 4 IndyCar races last year. Starting with St. Pete, we both went to that one. That was the first street course I've ever been to. Prior to that, I had only ever been to ovals for IndyCar. So it was just a very cool, very different experience. Just like how integrated into the whole like little section of the city that St. Pete track is.
Yeah. St. Pete is also just like a very like interesting town too. So like getting to be like, here's St. Pete, everyone, was fun. But
Or the tour guide.
yeah, you gotta be the
Yes.
tour guide for your tiny little
Oh,
town. Because even though St. Pete's not tiny, it like gives tiny vibes, depending on the portions of St. Pete you go to, which is cool. But for me, the more like interesting aspects of my St. Pete experience involved Prema, because obviously it was Prema's first race. And I was wearing Prema gear. So like they saw I was wearing Prema gear and like was trying to get like really close up photos of the car and like removed pieces so that I could get better photos of the car, which was pretty cool. But then the funniest part more so was like walking through the autograph line in my Prema shirt, and Will Power being surprised that Prema already had merch. That was what he pointed out.
Yeah.
yeah, I can say I have a bit of a favorite bit from that. If I'm not mistaken, it was that weekend as well. I got another video, and this time was from Elio.
You did.
I will say that is one of my favorite videos, just because he did it like in your guys' language, which when like you get them to do
Yeah.
it like not in English is always kind of like makes it even more cool.
Because I had no idea what he was saying. Same
Yeah.
thing with when I got Kubica to make the video for Yagoda. Like, no idea what he was saying. But I think like that's got to be extra cool for you.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you bet.
remember.
It was video freakout number 2.
Yeah, but I remember we texted you and we were like, "So what did he actually say?"
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
like, "We need a translation."
I think I did actually reply.
Yeah, you did, but
Yeah,
we
you
were like,
did.
"We need to actually know what he said because we have no idea."
You were the tour guide. I was the Portuguese teacher.
Yes,
With
yes.
the exception of how long we waited for Kevin to stop talking to other people so we could interview him at Daytona, I think waiting for Elio was the longest we stood around for anything.
But it also was just like where we were standing naturally where
Where he
Elio
was.
was, but he was just like in a very long conversation with like I think it was like news people.
Yeah, like a
So-
TV producer guy.
Yeah. So we were like just standing there naturally and like really couldn't move because of what was going on, and we're just like, we'll get him when the TV people leave.
Yep. And then moving on to the 500. That was fun because at the autograph session, Graham Rahal was like, "So why Orange Flag Podcast?" I was like, "It's not a real flag. No, why orange?" And I'm like, "Well, one of my co-hosts is a McLaren fan, and I'm a Dixon fan." Graham immediately was like, "I thought you were a Dixon fan." What about me, like, inherently exudes Dixon fan? I did not have any Scott merch, don't say it's that I have red hair.
Ginger. It's that you're ginger.
Me and Scott do have very similarly colored hair. I will.
I'm sorry,
say that.
I had
noticed
to
that
say
in pictures with him. Like, of all the gingers in race cars, Scott and I have the most similarly red hair.
I will say you definitely don't have Malaysia hair.
Nobody has Malaysia's hair. Malaysia's hair is insane.
It's so ginger.
Yeah. And then, I guess speaking of orange, got a tour of Christian Lundgaard's garage after the race while they were tearing down the car. That was really cool. Totally unexpected. A friend of mine happens to be friends with somebody who works on Lundgaard's car. So that was just like really cool. And then at Detroit, I got another cool tour. Got a tour of the CGR garage, which that was awesome because I am a huge Ganassi fan. I've been a Ganassi fan for 20 years.
No, you're a Penske fan.
I mean, in IMSA, yes. Once Ganassi left. In WEC, yes, once Ganassi left.
No, you're a huge Penske fan.
PPM knows this, Kevin knows this, everybody knows I didn't start actively, openly supporting PPM until Ganassi left, so...
You're a huge Joseph Newgarden fan.
No, that's my husband. He's a big Joseph Newgarden fan. He wants to name our dog Newgardeny, our next corgi we get. Newgardeny is not a good name for a dog. I did tell him that I would agree to this if they were going to have run 4-man lineups at Daytona and Joseph was going to be in Kevin's car, and if they won, then he would be allowed to name the dog Newgardeny. That didn't happen, so... no, the only way I would support Penske in IndyCar is if Kevin does the 500. Catch me decked out in Penske gear if Kevin does the 500. I'm just saying. And then at Detroit, that was definitely drinking game because I'm talking about Detroit where Kevin was not. And I'm talking about Detroit IndyCar, which Kevin doesn't do IndyCar. So, Kyffin Simpson got his first career top 5 at Detroit, and I had, pit access, so I was just standing in his pit box watching the end of the race, so I ended up, kind of as part of the celebration there, with his parents and stuff, which was really cool. Yeah, and I was completely decked out in Kyffin merch. Too, so I kind of looked like I was part of everybody.
Well, I mean, given what you told us, you were kind of, you did kind of act as a bit of a pit guard for the team.
I forgot.
Because nosy people didn't know the limit.
I forgot that I defended multiple cars at Detroit.
Yes.
I kept people from, reaching into the 6 on the grid walk for IMSA, and then I was defending Kiffin's tires in the IndyCar pits. And then Road America is really cool because they have this before the race party charity auction thingy, where drivers and team members and just general IndyCar celebrities are the charity bartenders. And they have a get the most tips competition. So I got served alcohol by Dario Franchitti, which is awesome because, in my having been a Ganassi fan for 20-ish years, he was there for a bunch of that, did some great things with them. So, big fan of Dario's. And then, don't know if I told this story, actually. Last year, in November, October-ish, I heard that Ganassi was planning on running a red car this year. And, wasn't told when it was going to be, wasn't told what the livery was going to be, just there was going to be a red car. And I lucked out massively in that one of the 4 races I went to was where red car was run. And then on top of that, red car won the race. So then, they had a bunch of, where is my cup? They had a bunch of solo cups because Alex Palou was running the solo cup red car livery, but I got him to sign my solo cup and write red car on it, which is possibly the most ridiculous thing I did this year, actually. Then I did a couple interviews at Road America. I interviewed Kiffin, I interviewed Kel Milot, and I interviewed Will Buxton, and those were really awesome interviews. NASCAR. I work security at TMS, so like my interaction at the race is a little different. Like I work pit lane security, so one of the things that I do is during driver intros I make sure the crowd stays back, but like I always try to get fist bumps from the drivers. And Kyle Larson was actually the only one that gave me a fist bump, so I'm happy he's champion.
Maybe he won the title because of that fist bump.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so I went to Charlotte because it was announced that Connor Zilisch was doing a few NASCAR races and that the 600 was going to be one of them. So it was the one I decided to go to because I wanted to go to a NASCAR race that he was doing Xfinity and Cup for, and was just kind of waiting for those races to be announced. Went to the 600. Last minute for the 600, did a jacket for it. So it was like half the 24 because I'm a Byron fan and half the 87. So track security, I was like down by the cars before the race and they saw my jacket. So the guy let me jump over the barricades and go like next to the 87 and meet Connor and get him to actually like sign the jacket. And then I got photos really close of the actual 87 car, which was cool because nobody else really got to like actually go behind the barriers and be like right at the 87, which was fun. And just really cool experience, and got to talk to like the security guy afterwards, and we just had really cool conversations too. But then also it was cool to be there for a Ross Chastain win and get to see the iconic watermelon smash. And then also for the Xfinity race, William Byron won that, so I got to see him win like at his hometown race too, which was really cool to see like 2 drivers that I really like win races. And then Connor in Xfinity did really well too, so it was cool to be there for that. It was also a really big race for Jimmy Johnson, and if you know anything about me, I'm a huge Jimmy Johnson fan. So getting to be there for like a huge milestone race for him was really awesome as well.
We also went to an FE race this year. I was not joking in the intro. We really did a lot this year. Flew down to Tampa and then we drove to Miami to go to Formula E. For the worst race I've ever been to in my entire life, including the 2005 United States Grand Prix at Indianapolis.
That's a bold statement.
It was so bad. Like, Effie, please do better.
Yeah, I will say, this was like very last minute that we decided to go to the race, and the only reason we went to the race was I got tickets from McLaren, you know, when McLaren still existed and FE. So I had free tickets. So I literally texted you and I was like, I know we had been jokingly talking about going to the FE race. I have an extra ticket. Do you actually want to come? And so we like last minute figured out like where to stay and what to do for the whole situation of going to Miami. It also felt like FE last minute remembered they had a race at Miami.
I'm pretty sure I could put on a race that was better organized than what Effie did. It was just so bad. We did get Where Are My Cups?
Yes, we got cups. And that was probably the best thing about the race.
Miami. Lots of fun facts about helping the environment. But yeah, Miami Formula E, I mean, they're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool,
They
but
had
like,
really good water refill situation there.
all I'm gonna say is, Effie, when I can't even see half of the race, and there's then no screen to see the other half of the race that we're missing, and then there's nothing telling us about, penalties that are being applied. So when we see certain cars cross the finish line and then the podium is different cars, maybe you should
confused.
explain that.
Yes.
Because we did not understand.
Okay. How many times can I show this shirt on the podcast this year?
The answer is yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I obviously went to the F1 race at COTA. Kevin obviously thinks he's a Formula One world champion. So, assume most people listening probably saw the post where I got Max to pose with the shirt. Which was hilarious. And then I got Nico Hulkenberg to sign the Tandy Slam poster. I still need to figure out how the heck I'm gonna find Patrick Pile to get him to sign this thing.
I mean, it is the only piece missing in this
It
quest
is.
now,
Yeah.
so it would be frustrating to leave it incomplete.
It's really frustrating. Not that I really could have gone to Suzuka, but like, I kind of could have gone to Suzuka. And it's a little frustrating that I didn't go to Suzuka, because then I could have gotten him to sign the poster. And yeah, so that's a little frustrating. Yeah, that rounds out all of the races we attended this year.
All
and then
races, all of them, and looking back at it, actually feels like a bit of a like, did all that really happen, or were we crazy on something?
And then we have this section called Other, which I'm going to go a little out of order because we just talked about going to all the races. I currently have tickets for 8 of the 9 IMSA races for next year. It's the Larvin Tour 2026.
The Larvin Tour, I like that.
I would have tickets for, well, I guess I technically only have tickets for 7 of the 9, but as soon as Petite renewals open, like, I have tickets, so I just need to renew them. The only race I'm not sure I'm going to be able to go to is Watkins Glen. I have, like, a work thing that weekend that, as of right now, my whole office has been told we have to go to this thing. And, but they said it may change, and since I'm one of, like, the more, like, senior people in my office, I would get, like, decent priority to get time off if I need to, and I'm really only trying to get a couple days off, so it's not like I'm trying to take, like, 2 weeks off during this conference. So, yeah, the Larvin Tour, starting at Daytona.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the same tour again for sports cars. We'll see if I add on other races. But for now,
Are you doing the Roar?
I am not doing the Roar. It was mainly I just didn't want to be in Daytona for that long. I've still
let you know if I last second decide to.
It's one of those
there
things
is
where,
still
like,
a chance.
I'm still kind of debating it, but it was one of those things where, like, if nobody I know's going, and I'm already going to Daytona, like...
Right.
I didn't see, like, a huge need to do it sort of deal.
Basically, if there's, like, $200 flights, the week before, I'll probably do the roar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not doing the roar. But yeah.
I've jokingly decided, Matt, you have competition now because you're also only doing the endurance rounds, and I'm also only doing the endurance rounds. So we are now competition.
Nice.
There we go.
Competition for some people, and some others will be making the Trekside debut.
Yes.
This
Yes.
boy is finally getting out of his shell next year. There's a Ferrari pun in there somewhere. Shell. But this guy is finally breaking out of his shell and is finally heading to Sao Paulo for the 6 hours, for the 6 hour race there for the WEC. And then obviously you still need to get the bureaucracy and red tape worked on. But who knows? Maybe I will find myself crossing the equator at some point next year. Who knows?
Perhaps for the race immediately following the race you're going to.
Yes.
You know, perhaps.
We literally told the people that we're bringing you to Sonic, Aries.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we literally in this episode said we're taking you to Sonic.
Yes.
I think we
know
kind
that.
of gave it away.
Yes, I know. But like it's like I said, I still need to clear all I need to clear before we can be like, yes, this is actually 100% certainly happening.
Oz, Aries can bring us coffee to bring to Petite to give to Kevin.
Yes. Aries, we're gonna need some Brazilian
Aries,
coffee.
We
I have a
need Brazilian coffee.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No, I'm on it. I'm on it. I can already.
This is
I mean,
we're actually being serious. We need Brazilian coffee.
Sure. No, I
For
can.
Kevin.
I can do that. I can do that. There's some good coffee. I know
Because
what
that also isn't part of perhaps plans for next year. You know.
Yes.
Just saying.
What is it? Kevin and Nicole get coffee.
Yeah, but then there might also be something else.
Yes,
Just
yes,
saying.
the secret plan.
The secret plan, Kevin, always be prepared.
That seems so threatening. Kevin, we're not threatening you.
A very ominous message. Be prepared.
There might be a Jellycat and coffee around your...
That sounds much less threatening. Oz is gonna get you some coffee, Kevin. You don't need to be prepared for anything.
That was amazing.
Speaking of Kevin, I still can't believe that we had him on the show and did a whole episode with him. Like, that still doesn't feel real.
Yes.
Yeah, it's part of what I said. This year sometimes feels like a fever dream because I have shower thoughts, as I always said, and sometimes I'm just there going like, Christ, did this happen actually this year? How far we've come as a podcast? Like nobody's.
Why are you thinking about Kevin in the shower?
I'm thinking it's not just him. Like not.
He's thinking about the podcast at large in the shower.
Don't make this weird.
First, Oz is threatening Kevin. Or you're having shower thoughts.
I will say also, Kevin, you brought the coffee threats onto yourself with the interview. So, but yeah.
If you told me back then, like when you guys were making your way to Daytona in January, that we were gonna be like, saying, oh yeah, all this crazy stuff happened, and now we're just looking back at it like, and not believing it happened, I would be like, yeah, you quit smoking whatever you were smoking, because it's obviously never gonna happen. Well, don't never say never, I guess. As cliche as it sounds, but hey, we can't complain. Definitely cannot complain.
Definitely not. Which now we're gonna go over and end with, silly theories and ideas, because we always like doing that. And it's only right to end with this, because as you all know, Christmas happened. The Toronto Maple Leafs, which is my hockey team, you're wondering how this is related. We're getting there. On
Yeah, I'm confused.
Christmas, decided to do something called the Zam Cam, which was just that they put, I would assume, a GoPro on the Zamboni and drove the Zamboni around and made it a live stream. And then throughout the live stream just kept making it more and more festive. So then we talked about the Kit Cam, which if you don't know what the Kit Cam is, CGR basically put a GoPro on Scott Dixon's child. And it's just
Which was amazing.
It was great. Probably some of the best content of the season. And it was just like Kit running around the track. So then I made the joke of, hey PPM, I've got an idea for you. It's called Cam Cam. If you're not getting who it is, I'm just saying maybe you should put a GoPro on Matt Campbell. And he just films the race weekend from his GoPro. And you call it Cam Cam.
Like, not when he's driving.
No.
Like, just when he's wandering around the track, or, like, at the autograph session, or, I don't know, all the time.
When he's annoying his teammates, perhaps.
Yes.
You know,
that sounds fun.
You know, just a thought. Everyone really loved Kit Cam, so I feel like if you want people to really like your team more, make Cam Cam a thing. I think people would like it. And these
if people don't like it, we like it.
We will like it, but these were my thoughts as I was eating Chinese food on Christmas, so I hope you guys enjoy my Christmas thoughts.
Yes.
See, we all have random thoughts sometimes.
And honestly, kind of going back to your thoughts, Aries, wouldn't have believed any of this if you had told me pre-Daytona either. We had no idea how to even, like, attempt to do an interview at Daytona. I hope Kevin saw how much better we got at interviewing between Daytona and when we had him on the show. Because, like, Kevin was the first person we, as the podcast, ever interviewed.
I wasn't hiding in a corner for when he came on the podcast, so you know.
You were not hiding in a corner when he came on the podcast. That is true.
I will need to avoid doing this next year. I am a very introverted individual.
I mean, same. Hence
I
the
will
corner.
I will need to not just break out of my shell, I will need to destroy it.
It's amazing what a racetrack will do, because I'm also an introverted person, but anybody that's met me at a race would not think that. So, like, it is truly amazing what a racetrack will do. So, I can't wait for when you go to races next year, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I am a mix. I am in a mixed state of being excited for it, being anxious for it, and being honestly terrified for it. Because, like, I am going for the first one at least. I'm going on my own, so I'm literally gonna be there, like, fish out of the water situation.
Yeah. I will.
Half of my races are solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say going alone and, like, going with friends is obviously, like, very different vibes. But, like, you still can have a lot of fun going alone.
Oh.
And, like, some of my best interactions have been at races I've gone alone to. So, I didn't have anyone for Charlotte. I, like, technically went with, like, a family friend, but, like, he stayed up in the seats the entire time, so, like, I was basically alone the entire time. So it was like I went alone. And I got the experience I got at Charlotte by just, like, standing around. So
yes.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do by pouring into Lagos.
2026 is it's gonna be hard for it to beat 2025, honestly, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Orange Flag Pod. Nicole is at Nicole on Racing, Austin is at Hendrik Claren, and Aries is at Aries_Alpenglow.
Stay orange. Have a happy new year.